straight answer.
He's a true
I do the
lord.
cooking and cleaning around the palace.
Don't be so sure of that. We've been
Stormcloaks are finding victory across the land.
The Empire's putting a great...
I hope the wild.
You have something to say, dog? Something on your mind? I feel so helpless out here. The people of Riften depended on me, and I failed them. Unmid and Anuriel shouldn't
They
blame
all know
themselves.
that.
How long are you going to wait?
Speak with Galmar. He'll size you up and see where we can best use your talents. Not entirely true, though not entirely false either. Any Nord can learn the way of the voice by studying with the Greybeards, given enough ambition and dedication. My shouting Torg to the ground proved he had neither. However, it was my sword piercing his heart that killed him. We should take Yarmarch. It'll be an important pressure point on the Imperials. We'd be within spitting distance of the capital.
We're fighting because we're done bleeding for an empire that won't bleed for us. Untold numbers of Nords died defending the Empire against the Dominion. And for what? Skyrim being sold to the Thalmor so the Emperor could keep his throne. We're fighting because our own Jarls, once strong, wise men, have become fearful and blind to the people's suffering. We're fighting because Skyrim needs heroes, and there's no one else but us.
I killed Torg to prove our wretched condition. How is the High King supposed to be the defender of Skyrim if he can't even defend himself? I challenged him in the traditional way, and he accepted. There were many witnesses. No murder was committed. True, he didn't stand a chance against me, but that was precisely the point. He was a puppet king of the Empire, not a High King of Skyrim. His father before him, perhaps, but not Torg. He was too privileged and too foolish, more interested in entertaining his queen than ruling his country. Indeed, Elisif has become Jarl of Solitude, historically and conveniently home of the High King, backed by Imperial interests. But the Moot has not yet met to name her High Queen, and they won't. Not as long as I have any say in it. There hasn't been a true High King in Skyrim for generations. For too long, he's been hand-picked by the Emperor, and given emphatic nods by milk-drinking Jarls addicted to Imperial coin. It's time we had a real High King, one of our own making. My father, the Great Bear of Eastmarch, died during my imprisonment after the Markarth incident. I, his only son, forced to deliver his eulogy via letter I had smuggled out of prison. Such is the love of Titus Mead for his subjects. When finally set free, I returned to Windhelm and was greeted by a city in mourning, at one with my own grief and anger, clamoring in angry voices, calling out for justice, for war. They sat me on the throne of Ysgramor, the throne of my father. I only hope I can prove worthy of that honor. You think I need to send
Hell,
this message?
Ulfric told us quite the story. If you made it through all that, you're likely worth something to me. But first, tell me, why does an elf want to fight for Skyrim? Can't fault anyone for that. As long as you hate the Empire as much as I do, that I can work with. You mistake me. I'm not saying no, just wondering about your intentions. We're not looking for sellswords. The Stormcloaks need dedicated men and women who are devoted to the cause and willing to die for it. Fair enough. But are you willing to die for your home? All right. But before I can put you to use, I need to know how much you can take. I have a little test for you. That's what I like to hear. So long as you can back up those words with steel. I'm sending you to Serpentstone Island. If you survive, you pass. If you die, well, you weren't going to be much use to me anyway. It's where men have tested their metal for ages. There's a strange rock formation built by the ancients. Something about that place attracts the ice wraiths. You kill an ice wraith out there, and I'll have all the proof I need about you. Only the ones I'm not sure about. This will prove your abilities, but more importantly, it will prove your commitment. We'll see about that, won't we? If by message you mean what? We've got nothing to talk
This
about.
grace would make a more powerful state.
Tell me again why we're wasting time and building resources chasing a legend. We don't even know it exists.
The Jarls are upset. They don't all support you.
Damn the Jarls.
They demand the moot.
And damn the moot! We should risk letting those milk drinkers put Torik's woman on the throne? She'll hand Skyrim over to the elves on a silver plate.
All the more reason, then. The crown would legitimize your claim.
A crown
We'll show
doesn't
those
make
faithless dogs who this land
No,
belongs to.
but this one,
if it even exists.
it exists. And it will be the symbol of the righteousness of our cause. Think about it. The jagged crown. It heralds back to a time before Jarls and Moots. Back to the time when the king was a king because his enemies fell before him, and his people rose because they loved him. Skyrim needs that king. You will be that king, Ulfric. You must be.
You're certain you found it?
When have I ever been false with you?
Fine. I'll send the unblooded here with you. Fancy a crawl through a moldering dungeon to see if you can't stir up Galmar's jagged crown.
It will be there. You'll see. You're alive. I owe Ulfric a drink. I have to admit, I didn't think we'd be seeing you again. I misjudged you. You're definitely Stormcloak material. It's time we made this official. You ready to take the oath? Before you're one of us, you must swear fealty to Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak, future High King of Skyrim. You must also pledge unswerving loyalty to your fellow Stormcloaks, to Skyrim, and to her people. That's the spirit. By swearing this oath, you become one of us, a hero of the people, a true son of Skyrim, a Stormcloak. Repeat after me. I do swear my blood and honor to the service of Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm and true High King of Skyrim. As Talos is my witness, may this oath bind me to death and beyond. Even to my lord, as to my fellow brothers and sisters in arms. All hail the Stormcloaks, the true sons and daughters of Skyrim. Now you're one of us, which means you get to tag along on a little trip with me. Oh, and here. You're a Stormcloak now. You ought to look the part. I have found the final resting place of the Jagged Crown. Can you believe it? Well, I'm almost certain. We're headed to Corvinjune, but if old King Borgus is indeed buried there, we're bound to run into trouble of some kind. Your fellow Stormcloaks are already assembling outside the tomb. I'll meet you there as soon as I'm finished up here. Have you not heard that ancient verse? Maw unleashing rays of snow, of dragons from the blue brought down, birth the walking winter's woe, the High King in his jagged crown. Going way back to King Harald's time, or even before, the High King always wore the jagged crown. It was the symbol of his might and power. The crown is made from the bones and teeth of ancient dragons, and it is said to contain a portion of the power of every king who has worn it. True or not, who would dare deny Ulfric's claim when the legendary jagged crown sits upon his brow? It's true. The location of the crown was lost with King Borgus after the Great Hunt killed him while he was off on his damned Alessian campaigns. But legend holds, his body was secretly returned to Skyrim and buried with the crown. Its exact whereabouts lost in the following Wars of Succession. Through sources that shall remain nameless, I've tracked down what I believe to be the final resting place of King Borgus, Corvinjune. If the crown exists, it will be there. Reasons? Since when does a man need a reason to protect his family, to defend his homeland? It's the damn Outlanders and Empire that need the reasons. Not this Empire. The world's better without it. Certainly Skyrim is. I fought in the Imperial Army in the war against the Dominion. I bled and spilled blood for the Empire. And for what? The Empire to bend its knee before those evil elf bastards? Signing a treaty meant to kill the heart of the Empire itself? To deny Talos? No. I will have no part of any such empire. And I will gladly gut anyone who says otherwise. Enough talk. There's much...
I don't like talking to someone who holds their honor so cheaply.
I hope the
keeping my eye
Wilds
on
claim you one of these days. Honor to you, my Thane. Farewell.
Divine smile. So, you wish to master the arcane arts? Farewell.
And to think Mirabelle questioned my spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them.
That. Take a look. Now, if you'll excuse the people of... Take a look. All right, then.
Restoration. Spells and incantations for those with a talent to cast them.